Hello, my friends. We've been thinking about you, and we wanted to share with you a song about friends, and a story about friends, and a project that you can do to make friendly messages. So, how about that song?
I'm ready.
Okay.
If you've got trouble and you need a helping hand, if you've got trouble and you need a helping hand, if you've got trouble and you need a helping hand, come to me, I will be your friend. I will be your friend. Oh, I will be your friend. If you've got trouble and you need a helping hand, come to me, I will be your friend. Well, if you are lonely, I'll sing a song with you. If you are lonely, I'll sing a song with you. If you are lonely, I'll sing a song with you. Come to me, I will be your friend. What else do friends do?
If you've got
Monsters, I'll help you make them small. If you've got monsters, I'll help to make them small. If you've got monsters, I'll help to make them small. Come to me, I will be your friend. I bet they're ready to sing.
sing with us.
I will be your friend. Oh, I will be your friend. If you've got trouble and you need a helping hand, come to me, I will be your friend. Well, I don't know what that part about monsters was about, but I can't wait to hear the story.
You'll have to keep listening to Wendy's story that has monsters in it. Okay, Wendy.
Hi, friends. I have a really fun book for you today. It is called Monsters in My Mailbox. Kind of funny, isn't it? Here it is. Do you see this word right up here? This big long word? It starts with a M. That says monsters in my mailbox. All those M's. Let's read this. Reginald McGillicuddy lived in a grown-up part of town. Grown-ups lived up the street, down the street, across the street, and none of them had any children. No one, that is, except for Mr. and Mrs. Appleby next door. They had Anna Marie, who didn't really count because she was a girl. So Reginald had only his toys to keep him company. Reginald, for some reason, thinks that, he won't have anything in common with Anna Marie. One day, Reginald saw an unusual advertisement in a magazine. Thought Reginald, I'll join that Monster of the Month club. Then I'll always have someone to play with. He shook some money from his piggy bank and mailed it in with the coupon. Sure enough, on the 1st of April, a huge brown package was delivered to his home. What's in the box? Asked Anna Marie, who had been playing hopscotch on the sidewalk. Boy stuff, said Reginald as he hauled the package inside. He hoped his parents hadn't seen it. They wouldn't even let him have a kitten. Reginald opened the box. A blue, furry monster jumped out. Hello, he said. I'm Stinky. Wow, said Reginald. You sure are big. What do you eat? Mud pies and box springs, said Stinky. He took a chomp out of Reginald's mattress. Let's mix up some mud pies, Reginald quickly said. Reginald and Stinky loved the monster mud pies. Reginald's mother did not. Do you think your mom would like if you made mud pies in your room? You need a place to sleep, said Reginald when it was time for bed. How about under the bed, said the monster. I like to snack on dust balls. So Reginald pushed and shoved and stuffed Stinky under the bed. With Stinky around, Reginald was never lonely. On the 1st of May, another package arrived. Hello, said monster number 2, who was yellow with fangs and wormy hair. My name is Binky. Gee, it was cramped in that box. You don't happen to have a hot tub I could relax in, do you? You've got to be kidding, said Reginald. How about an exercise room or a fax machine? Asked Binky. Reginald shook his head. Well, then I'm leaving, said Binky, stamping his huge foot and smashing a hole through the floor. I won't belong to some ordinary kid. No, shouted Reginald as Binky headed out toward the door. My folks will see you. Stinky blocked the door and then pushed Binky into the closet. Reginald slammed the door shut and locked it. Soon they heard Binky gnawing on a shoe. Genuine leather, said Binky. I'll sleep here. With 2 monsters friends, Reginald had twice as much fun, but also twice as much trouble. When the monsters giggled and tickled and rolled on the floor, they smashed Reginald's crayons and kicked over the bookcase. Son, I told you not to jump on the bed, Reginald's father yelled down from downstairs. Har, 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 laughed Stinky. He sounded like a hippopotamus with hiccups. On the 1st of June, another monster was delivered. Is it your birthday? Called Anna Marie. No, said Reginald, closing the front door just in time. The new monster looked even stranger than the other 2. His name was Finky, and he breathed fire. It was cold in the box, said Finky, and I got a runny nose. And then he coughed, and he set Reginald's catcher's mitt on fire. Stinky dumped a tray of mud pies on the mitt to put the fire out. Don't worry about me, said Finky when it was time for bed. I'll sleep under the rug. Try not to set the house on fire, said Reginald, sighing. Look at this room, said Reginald's mom the next morning. Get busy, young man. I want you to clean the mess up immediately. So Reginald cleaned all day while Stinky, Binky, and Finky lazed around toasting marshmallows. Pretty handy that you have fire breath. Are these my roller skates? Asked Reginald, holding up 2 gooey, slimy, half-chewed wheels. He was feeling very grumpy. Yup, said Binky with a burp. The wheels didn't agree with me. On the 1st of July, Pinky was delivered, and Ginky arrived in August. Now Reginald had enough monsters for a baseball team. By December, he had a baseball team until Binky stole all the bases and ate them. And by February, the house was chock full of monsters. At night, the old house squeaked and creaked when the monsters were especially twitchy and wiggly. Could I have a glass of water? Asked Stinky at midnight. Me too, said Hinky, Rinky, and Linky. I want one, cried Dinky, Inky, and Shrinky. Did you hear that? Reginald's mother asked his father. I think we have mice. On the 1st of March, a gigantic package was delivered to Reginald's house. Out stepped monster number 12. My name is Winky, said the monster. I like ping pong and pickle sandwiches with ketchup, and I snore. Reginald and Winky played 98 games of ping pong. At bedtime, Reginald put Winky in the coat closet. It's too dark in here, said Winky, shivering. Reginald put Winky in the attic. I think I see a spider, said Winky, shuddering. May I sleep with you, pretty please? Oh, all right, said Reginald, rolling his eyes. Ouch, said Ginky. You're squishing me. What was that? Said Winky, sitting up. Who's there? Me, Banana Brain. I can't breathe, said Ginky, gasping for breath. His white fangs gleamed in the moonlight. Don't bite, screeched Winky, diving out the window. My sore toe, screamed Ginky. He hopped toward the door and tripped over Finky. Finky jumped up. In his hurry, he mistook the closet door for the exit. Help, he shrieked. Something big kicked me. He let out a blast of fire that singed Binky's wormy hair. Then both monsters screamed and ran through the house to the front door. The noise scared all the monsters. Shrieking and screaming, they stampeded into the night. Reginald ran after them. In the front yard, the gang of monsters was running amok. Oh no, groaned Reginald. What do I do? Anna Marie's window flew open. Turn the hose on them, she shouted. Without knowing why, Reginald grabbed the garden hose and sprayed the frightened monsters. Reginald's father flung open the door. What are you doing? He yelled. I, said Reginald helplessly. I'm watering. Reginald looked around the yard. All the monsters had vanished. A swarm of fireflies hovered overhead. Well, come in this minute, said Reginald's father. That can wait until tomorrow. Goodness, Reginald, what will you think of next? In the morning, Reginald searched everywhere. He couldn't find a single monster. Looking for this, said a voice. And Reginald looked up to see Anna Marie holding a tiny creature. It was Winky. Anna Marie rescued me, said Winky. How did you know what to do? Reginald asked Anna Marie. I read the directions, she said, back when I belonged to the Monster of the Month Club. What directions? Said Reginald. If monsters run amok, sprinkle with water, said Anna Marie. When wet, monsters will shrink, then turn into harmless fireflies. I dried this one off just in time. Anna Marie, said Reginald, would you like to come over to my house for a nice quiet game of checkers? If I can bring Zinky, said Anna Marie. She opened her hand. It was a little monster. Reginald smiled. Two monsters sound just right, he said. And that is the story of how Anna Marie and Reginald became friends through Monsters in the Mailbox. Thank you, my friends, for listening to this book. And I also have a little project idea for you, and it is Pizza Monsters. So I'm going to take a picture of that in video, and we'll attach it. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I have a little project for you today. I want to make some sidewalk chalk. This is so simple. It only has 3 ingredients. One of those ingredients is water. So I've got some cornstarch here. I've got some food coloring, or you can even use some paint. And I have some bowls, a little whisk. And I am going to put some cornstarch in a bowl, and I'm going to add some water and whisk it up until it's a thick painty consistency. This is the fun part, where you get to mix. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to show you, okay, you guys. Does that look like paint? More water. Okay, whisk it up. All right, ooh, it's looking pretty good, you guys. I'm going to show you here as soon as I can get it a little bit more mixed up. Okay. Now it's starting to get to a nice painty consistency. You can see there's still a little gooey, but it's all mixing right in with the water. Now for my sidewalk paint, I'm just going to add a little bit of color. What color should we do today? I'm feeling kind of like maybe blue, because I noticed that there's a bright blue sky outside. So I'm going to add a couple drops of the blue. Mix that right. And I want you guys to see it. I spilled a little bit, but that's okay. I'll clean it up. It's a beautiful blue. Let's see if I can turn my camera so you can see it. Beautiful blue. Now, you can paint on your sidewalks, and this will wash away. But if you don't have sidewalks to paint on, no problem. This is also perfect rock paint. Found this one right outside our nursery school door. And you can make different colors, and it's fun to mix. And when it rains, it will wash away. But that's okay, because then you can paint your sidewalk or your driveway or your rocks again. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye, everyone.